Listen for a single night, and allow the Book of Sleep paradox to reach the hidden part of you that awakens only in sleep. Somewhere between dreams and silence, old patterns begin to loosen, and a new reality quietly takes shape. Fall asleep to this, and by morning you may feel as though something unseen has changed. Book of Sleep Paradox. Introduction. You stand at the threshold of a profound understanding, a realm where consciousness dances between effort and surrender. The law of attraction is not a tool to be wielded, but a subtle energy to be embraced. Your mind is a fertile landscape, most potent in the soft moments between wakefulness and slumber. Imagine your thoughts as delicate seeds, not forcefully planted but gently released into the fertile darkness of your inner landscape. Each breath becomes a whisper of possibility, each moment of stillness a gateway to transformation. The harder you try to control, the more elusive your desires become. But when you learn to rest, to truly listen, miracles germinate in silence. Your subconscious does not respond to demands. It blossoms through invitation, through a tender acceptance of what is. The nighttime becomes your sacred laboratory, where intentions are not manufactured but allowed to emerge naturally. As you drift toward sleep, you are not working, but witnessing, observing the gentle unfolding of your deepest truths. This is not about technique, but about remembrance. You are not broken. You are not a project to be fixed. You are a living, breathing manifestation of infinite potential, temporarily veiled by the illusion of limitation. Each night, as you surrender to sleep, you are actually awakening to a deeper intelligence, an intelligence that knows precisely how to align your external world with your internal landscape. The paradox lies in this. True power emerges not through striving, but through radical acceptance. Your dreams are not random. They are conversations between your conscious desires and your soul's wisdom. By learning to rest deeply, to listen quietly, you activate a transformative power that exists beyond effort, beyond struggle. Before we get into the book, comment, "I am ready," to affirm your intention to the universe. Part 1. The Softening of Thought. Chapter 1. The Whisper of Surrender. In the quiet tapestry of life's unfolding, Clara Bell discovered a truth that many spend lifetimes seeking. Her dream of ocean tranquility was not a destination to be conquered, but a state of being waiting to be unveiled. You might recognize her journey, the relentless pursuit of peace that paradoxically pushes serenity further from your grasp. Clara's world had been a symphony of constant motion. Meetings, deadlines, expectations, each moment filled with the noise of becoming rather than the wisdom of being. Her vision of a coastal retreat was more than a geographical shift. It was a desperate longing for inner stillness. The universe whispers its most profound lessons in moments of surrender. When Clara stopped plotting her escape, when she released the tight grip of control, something extraordinary happened. The very peace she had been chasing began to bloom around her. Her thoughts, once a turbulent storm, gradually settled into a gentle tide. Everett Jones understood this language of surrender differently. An elderly man with a vintage radio, he learned that alignment is much like finding the perfect frequency. Some signals come through clearly only when you stop frantically turning the dial and simply listen. His old radio became a metaphor for life. Patience reveals the clearest transmission. You are not separate from the universal flow. Your desires are not battles to be won, but conversations to be heard. Each moment of stillness is an invitation. Each breath is a communication with the unseen forces that weave your reality. The law of attraction is not about forcing outcomes, but about creating a receptive space. Resistance sounds like a cacophony of doubts, fears, and desperate strategies. Alignment sounds like a soft hum, a quiet knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Clara and Everett's stories remind you that peace is not a destination. It is a state of being you can choose in this moment, right now. The waves of the universe are always moving, always supporting, always guiding. If only you would pause long enough to feel their rhythm. Practice tonight. Allow your breath to become a gentle listener. Close your eyes and feel the darkness not as absence, but as a nurturing space of potential. With each exhale, whisper silently, "I allow." Feel a soft smile forming, as if the universe is breathing back, mirroring your surrender. Let go of the need to understand, to control, to know. Simply be present and feel the quiet magic of allowance. Chapter 2. The River Beneath Rest. In the gentle rhythms of life, you are learning that true power resides not in straining, but in surrendering. Mabel Green's journey illuminates this profound wisdom. For years, she chased success with relentless determination, believing fulfillment was a battle to be won through ceaseless effort. Her days blurred into a cascade of meetings, goals, and restless pursuits, each moment charged with an urgent need to prove her worth. Yet the universe whispers its teachings through unexpected channels. One autumn evening, exhaustion descended upon Mabel like a soft blanket, rendering her immobile. In that moment of complete surrender, something extraordinary occurred. Beneath the stillness, she felt a subtle current, a gentle, intelligent movement that carried her forward without her own exertion. This current is the unseen energy of life, the invisible thread weaving your experiences into a tapestry of manifestation. Like Walter Dean, who discovered wisdom watching a stream outside his window, you are learning that true movement happens beneath the surface. The stream appears motionless above, yet beneath its calm exterior, water flows with purposeful grace. Your beliefs are the subtle currents guiding your life's journey. When you cease struggling and start allowing, you tap into a more profound intelligence. Sleep becomes more than rest. It is a sacred space of restoration and realignment. In these quiet hours, your soul repairs what your conscious mind cannot comprehend, recalibrating your inner landscape. Energy is never truly lost. It transforms. Your thoughts, when released from the grip of constant manipulation, settle like delicate leaves upon still water. They do not disappear but are carried by unseen currents toward their natural fulfillment. Practice. Manifestation. Meditation. As twilight approaches and sleep beckons, find a comfortable position. Close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. Imagine your thoughts as soft, golden leaves gently floating on a tranquil water surface. Do not chase or control them. Simply observe as they drift, carried by an invisible current. With each breath, whisper internally, "I allow, I trust, I receive. Feel the subtle energy moving beneath the surface of your consciousness. Know that every desire, every intention is being guided toward its perfect unfolding while you rest in quiet delight. Chapter 3. The Golden Pause. As night descends and the world grows quiet, you stand at the threshold of understanding a profound truth. Your most powerful moments are not defined by action, but by the sacred spaces between actions. Dorothy May's journey illuminates this wisdom, a path of discovering that true creation emerges not from relentless doing, but from conscious pausing. Dorothy had spent years racing through life, her calendar a battlefield of appointments and responsibilities. Each day was a marathon of tasks, each moment filled with urgent motion. Yet something within her always whispered of a different rhythm, a gentler current beneath her frantic surface. One autumn afternoon, exhausted from her perpetual motion, Dorothy sat motionless by her kitchen window. The leaves outside drifted without struggle, carried by an invisible wind. In that moment of stillness, she understood. Life flows most beautifully when we surrender control and trust the unseen currents. Franklin Boyd, a master carpenter whose hands knew the language of wood and creation, embodied this principle. Where others saw labor, he saw conversation between his vision and the materials before him. Mid-project, he would close his eyes, breathe deeply, and allow the design to emerge naturally. His creations sang with an effortless grace that mechanical effort could never achieve. The universe speaks in whispers, not commands. Inspiration arrives silently, like morning dew, impossible to force, yet miraculous in its gentle appearance. Your most profound insights will not be chased but invited, not constructed but received. When you learn to create space around your thoughts, you transform from a worker to a conduit. The divine, that infinite intelligence flowing through all things, begins to work through you, not against resistance, but with a fluid grace that renders struggle unnecessary. Reflection is not inaction, it is the deepest form of action. In the quiet moments, you are not idle but attuned, like a radio receiver calibrating to receive the most refined signals of possibility. Actionable practice. Find a comfortable seated position. Close your eyes and breathe slowly, letting each exhale release tension. Imagine your breath as a gentle tide, washing away mental clutter. After several breaths, place one hand on your heart and one on your belly. Ask silently, what inspiration wishes to emerge through me tonight? Sit in open receptivity. Do not chase an answer. Simply listen. The universe will paint its wisdom across the canvas of your quieted mind. Chapter 4. The Friendly Darkness. In the quiet realm between wakefulness and dreams, you stand at the threshold of understanding. The darkness that once terrified Hazel Clare now becomes your greatest teacher, revealing the profound wisdom hidden in stillness. Fear of the dark is truly a fear of the unknown, a resistance to the infinite potential that dwells in silence. Just as a painter requires a blank canvas to create a masterpiece, your consciousness requires the void to birth its most transformative visions. The darkness is not an absence, but a living presence, a fertile ground where possibilities germinate. Hazel Clare's journey mirrors your own. Once she clutched her nightlight like a shield against the unknown, believing brightness could protect her from the mysteries that lurk in silence. But wisdom whispered a different truth. Darkness is not to be feared, but embraced. It is the sacred space where your deepest insights take root, where the seeds of transformation quietly unfurl. Lester Finn understood this sacred principle. He learned to sit in uninterrupted silence, allowing the darkness to cradle his thoughts. In those moments of pure receptivity, he discovered that true power resides not in constant action, but in patient allowance. The universe orchestrates its most intricate designs in the spaces between your thoughts, in the velvet silence where expectations dissolve and miracles are conceived. Your mind is like a vast, dark landscape waiting to be illuminated. Each moment of stillness is an invitation, a gentle calling to release the need for constant movement and noise. In this darkness you are not lost, but perfectly positioned. You are a vessel of infinite potential, waiting to be filled with the whispers of possibility. The darkness speaks in subtle languages, not of words, but of feelings, intuitions, and subtle energetic shifts. When you learn to listen without judgment, without resistance, you open yourself to guidance far more profound than any external source. This is the art of allowing, the sacred practice of trusting the unseen currents that shape your reality. As you drift toward sleep, imagine the darkness not as emptiness, but as velvet arms of the universe wrapping you in readiness for tomorrow's light. Practice darkness meditation. Find a quiet space. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Let the darkness envelop you like a nurturing embrace. With each breath, release your need to control, to understand, to manipulate. Simply be present in the darkness, feeling its infinite potential. Whisper silently, I am held. I am guided. I am becoming. Chapter 5. The Murmur of Gratitude. In the quiet corners of her modest apartment, Edna June discovered a transformative secret that would reshape her inner landscape. For years, she had been a master of nighttime complaints, muttering about aching joints, unpaid bills, and the persistent loneliness that seemed to inhabit her evenings like an unwelcome guest. But something shifted when she learned the alchemical power of gratitude. It was not a grand revelation, but a subtle understanding that emerged like soft light breaking through dense clouds. Each night, instead of cataloging her troubles, she began to whisper thanks. "Thank you for this warm blanket," she would murmur, feeling the soft cotton against her skin. "Thank you for the gentle silence of my room." Her words were small, almost tentative at first, like a child learning a new language. Gordon Tate's story echoed similar wisdom. A maintenance worker with weathered hands and a life of simple rhythms, he had learned to appreciate even the most worn objects. His old sneakers, bearing the marks of countless workdays, received his gratitude. The broken clock on his nightstand, which no longer kept accurate time, was thanked for its years of faithful service. The universe, you will discover, responds not to the grandeur of your desires, but to the frequency of your appreciation. Gratitude is not a transaction, but a vibration, a tone that resonates through the invisible layers of existence. When you thank the world, you align yourself with abundance, with possibility, with the inherent generosity of life itself. Your nighttime thoughts are seeds planted in the fertile darkness. Each grateful whisper becomes a nutrient, transforming the soil of your subconscious. Dreams begin to shift, no longer tangled with complaint, but luminous with quiet acknowledgement. The darkness is not your enemy, but a compassionate space of renewal. It holds your intentions, your hopes, your deepest truths. When you approach it with thankfulness, it becomes a nurturing presence, cradling your spirit and preparing you for the light that will inevitably follow. Practice. As you surrender tonight, whisper 3 tiny thank yous to the darkness itself, and let gratitude melt resistance until your soul hums with gentle satisfaction. Chapter 6. The Feather and the Stone. You have wandered through many landscapes of consciousness, learning the subtle dance between effort and surrender. Now you stand at the threshold of understanding balance, not as a rigid point between 2 extremes, but as a living, breathing state of being. Myrtle Rose once believed life demanded impossible choices. She saw the world in stark contrasts, light or heavy, moving or still, dreaming or doing. Her mind constructed walls between these states, believing she must commit fully to one path or another. But the universe whispers a different wisdom. Imagine balance not as a fixed position, but as a gentle oscillation, like a tree swaying in the wind, rooted yet responsive, strong yet flexible. Your thoughts can be similarly anchored, firm in their core truth, yet soft in their approach to manifestation. Harvey Luke understood this principle through the stones he carried. These smooth companions in his pocket represented groundedness, a quiet, unshakable presence. Yet when the wind moved around them, they reminded him that true strength includes the ability to be light, to move, to breathe. The universe does not demand perfection, but harmony. Your beliefs can be steady without being rigid. Your dreams can be passionate without being desperate. Trust becomes a living energy when you allow it to flow, when you hold your intentions with an open hand rather than a clenched fist. In the moment between waking and sleeping, you exist in this perfect balance. Your consciousness hovers, neither fully awake nor completely asleep. A liminal space where transformation breathes most easily. Here you are both the dreamer and the dream, the creator and the creation. Practice. Before sleep alignment. Before sleep, picture yourself as a floating stone resting between heaven and earth, breathing both weight and air until you sense the rhythm of harmony. Close your eyes. Feel the solid ground beneath you, supporting your physical form. Yet simultaneously imagine a gentle updraft lifting you, creating space around and within you. Breathe deeply. With each inhale, sense your groundedness. With each exhale, feel your lightness. Visualize yourself as this stone, substantial yet buoyant, connected yet free. Let your breath move between these states, creating a natural, effortless rhythm of balance. Chapter 7. The Mapeless Journey. You stand at the threshold of understanding that life's most profound moments often emerge from what appears to be chaos or disruption. Beatrice Ann's journey illuminates a universal truth. When you release your grip on meticulously crafted plans, the universe begins to whisper its own intricate design. Beatrice had been a woman of precision, her life a carefully constructed tapestry of spreadsheets, color-coded calendars, and 5-year plans. Every moment was charted, every possibility predicted. Her charts were her armor against uncertainty, her maps through the wilderness of potential. Then came the day her meticulously organized portfolio vanished, not misplaced, not temporarily hidden, but completely gone. Where once she would have spiraled into anxiety, something within her shifted. A quiet voice emerged, not from her analytical mind, but from a deeper well of wisdom. Curiosity replaced panic. Instead of reconstructing her lost plans, she allowed herself to wonder what might unfold when she surrendered control. Each step became an invitation rather than a calculated move. Synchronicities began to dance around her. Conversations with strangers held unexpected guidance. Chance encounters revealed opportunities her planned route would have missed. The universe, it seemed, was a far more sophisticated navigator than her carefully drawn charts. Percy Dale's story echoed a similar revelation. Missing his intended train, an event that would have once devastated him, led to a serendipitous meeting with an old friend. This friend introduced him to a professional opportunity that would reshape his entire career trajectory. These stories reveal a profound spiritual principle. Your most extraordinary journeys often begin where your plans end. Trusting the unknown doesn't mean being passive. It means being openly receptive. It's about walking with a soft curiosity, allowing intuition to guide you rather than rigid expectations. The art of surrendered curiosity is not about abandoning intention, but about holding your goals with an open hand. You're not relinquishing your dreams, but creating spaciousness for them to manifest in ways more magnificent than your limited perception can currently imagine. As you prepare to drift into slumber, release the urge to foresee, imagining the stars arranging your steps for tomorrow's effortless surprise. Practice. Before sleep's embrace. Close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. Visualize your carefully constructed plans as a delicate paper boat. Gently place this boat on a calm, flowing river. Watch it drift away, not with loss, but with peaceful curiosity. Feel the softness of surrender, the quiet trust that something greater than your mind's design is orchestrating your path. Chapter 8. The Loving Mirror. You stand at the threshold of understanding a profound universal truth. Your inner landscape sculpts the external world with remarkable precision. Like a master artist, you paint the canvas of your reality with each thought, each whispered belief, each silent conversation with yourself. Hattie Pearl's journey illuminates this wisdom. For years, she gazed into mirrors with a critical eye, seeing only perceived flaws and imperfections. Her reflection seemed a cruel testament to her self-doubt, each glance reinforcing a narrative of inadequacy. But something shifted when she began to understand that mirrors are not judges. They are faithful messengers, reflecting back the energy she projected. In the quiet realm between waking and dreaming, Hattie learned that her reflection was not fixed, but fluid. When she softened her inner dialogue, when she began to see herself with compassion, the mirror transformed. Her eyes began to sparkle, her skin seemed to glow, and the lines of her face relaxed into a gentle landscape of acceptance. Eugene Cole walked a similar path. Where once he perceived the world as hostile and unwelcoming, he made a revolutionary choice: to see kindness everywhere. Remarkably, as his inner perception shifted, the external world responded. Strangers who might have passed him without acknowledgement now smiled, offered help, engaged in warm conversation. This is the secret of reflection. What you radiate, you attract. Your inner tone is a tuning fork that resonates with the universe, calling forth experiences that match your fundamental vibration. Judgment creates more judgment. Criticism breeds more criticism. But when you choose to see yourself with tenderness, the world begins to mirror that same tender gaze. Your thoughts are not passive observers, but active creators. They are the architects of your experience, silently constructing the reality you inhabit. Each thought is a brush stroke, each belief a color on the canvas of your life. The practice of transforming your reflection begins not with external change, but with internal alignment. When you look at yourself, see beyond the physical. Recognize the luminous being of pure potential that resides within. Your true reflection is not about perfection, but about authenticity and self-love. Practice. Close your eyes tonight, imagining that every warm thought about yourself polishes the mirror of reality until you see only beauty looking back. Chapter 9. The Quiet Bridge. In the soft twilight between wakefulness and dreams, you stand at the threshold of transformation. Lois Fay's journey mirrors your own uncertain path, a transparent bridge stretching across the vast unknown, suspended by nothing more substantial than trust itself. Before her dream, Lois had been a woman paralyzed by the fear of change. Each potential shift in her life appeared as a chasm too wide to cross, each transition a threat to her carefully constructed reality. But in the luminous realm of her nocturnal vision, she discovered a profound truth. Stability is not found in external circumstances, but within the landscape of your inner belief. The bridge in her dream was unlike any physical structure. Transparent, it seemed to dissolve and reappear with each tentative step, challenging everything she understood about security. Yet with each step, she realized the bridge remained constant, not because of its material strength, but because of her unwavering trust. Stanley Reese, a weathered farmer whose connection to the land ran deeper than mere agricultural practice, understood this principle intimately. Each morning, he would observe the delicate formation of dew, reading its patterns like an ancient text. Where others saw mere moisture, he perceived the universe's subtle communication, a promise of sunshine, of abundance, of continuity. His calm certainty was not blind optimism, but a refined understanding that faith precedes physical evidence. The morning dew would form, and invariably sunlight would follow. Not through coincidence, but through the harmonious dance of trust and natural law. You are like that bridge, like that morning dew. Your internal landscape shapes the external world. When your belief trembles, the path appears unstable. When you stand firm in trust, transitions become passages of grace, not moments of terror. The universe speaks in whispers of possibility, waiting for you to listen. Each uncertain step is an invitation to trust, each moment of vulnerability a chance to discover your inherent strength. Practice. As sleep surrounds you, visualize crossing your own invisible bridge, every footstep guided by invisible love waiting on the other side. Chapter 10. The Gentle Magnet. You stand at the threshold of understanding a profound universal truth. Desire is not a forceful demand, but a gentle invitation. Nora Sue's journey illuminates how impatience creates invisible barriers between you and your deepest aspirations. Your longing carries a frequency, and that frequency either attracts or repels based on the emotional tone you transmit. Consider how a magnet works, not through aggression, but through natural alignment. Your inner state generates a magnetic field that draws experiences matching its vibration. When you push too hard, you create resistance. When you soften, you become receptive. Calvin Boyd understood this mystical principle intuitively. Where others saw delays as obstacles, he perceived them as sacred preparations. Each moment of waiting became a rehearsal, a quiet tuning of his inner landscape. His smile wasn't just an expression, but an energetic signal of trust and ease. The universe responds to your internal rhythm, not your external demands. Desperation sounds like lack, while joy resonates with abundance. Your emotional state is the true currency of manifestation. When you radiate calm delight, you become irresistible to the very experiences you seek. Imagine your desires not as distant goals, but as gentle companions waiting to align with your peaceful presence. Each breath can be an invitation, each thought a welcoming gesture. The magnetic field of creation pulses with gentleness, responding to your most tender intentions. As your eyes grow heavy, breathe softly, repeating inwardly, "I draw all that matches my calm delight," feeling your heart's pull glowing quietly. Chapter 11. The Lantern Within. In the soft twilight of her understanding, Sadie Lou discovered a profound truth that would forever alter her perception of success and failure. For years, she had carried the heavy burden of inadequacy, believing that her worth was measured by external achievements and the approval of others. Her mind was a labyrinth of doubts, each corridor lined with memories of perceived shortcomings and missed opportunities. But on this particular evening, as the gentle whispers of intuition began to weave their way through her consciousness, Sadie Lou realized something transformative. The light she had been desperately seeking was not something to be acquired, but something she had always possessed. Like a lantern whose flame burned steadily within, her essence remained unchanged regardless of external circumstances. This revelation came not through struggle, but through a moment of quiet surrender. She understood that worth is not earned, but recognized. Just as the sun does not strive to shine, but simply radiates its inherent brilliance, so too does your inner light exist independently of achievements or validation. Rupert Lee's story echoed this universal truth. A humble teacher who had spent decades guiding young minds, he discovered that his greatest moments of confidence arose not from personal accolades, but from helping others recognize their own intrinsic value. When he illuminated the potential in his students, his own inner light seemed to burn more brightly, casting away shadows of self-doubt. The universe operates on a principle of reflection. What you acknowledge within yourself, you attract externally. Your inner luminescence is not dependent on conquering darkness, but on simply remembering the brightness that already resides within you. Each thought, each belief is a frequency that resonates outward, drawing experiences that match its vibration. Sadie Lou's transformation was not about becoming something new, but about remembering who she had always been. The fear of failure began to dissolve, replaced by a serene understanding that her worth was constant and unchanging. Practice. Before drifting off, imagine your chest as a lantern whose gentle radiance expands through the universe, attracting experiences that match your inner glow. Part 2. The Dreaming Mind Awakens. Chapter 12. The Garden of Evening. In the soft embrace of twilight, you discover a truth long hidden from hurried daylight minds. Growth happens in silence, far from watchful eyes. Claudine May's garden held this ancient wisdom, where moonflowers unfurled their delicate petals when the world slumbered, revealing a secret rhythm of creation invisible to those who only honor sunlight. Her garden taught her that not all nurturing is loud or visible. Some transformation happens in whispers, in the gentle caress of night's breath against tender roots. Just as seeds germinate beneath dark soil, your deepest potential takes shape in moments of quiet surrender. Arnold Gray understood this principle intimately. A quiet man who respected the night's mysterious alchemy, he would sit beneath soft lamplight, journaling his intentions and gratitudes. His nighttime practice was not mere writing, but a sacred ritual of planting possibility. Each carefully inscribed word was a seed, watered by belief, nurtured by calm expectation. The universe listens differently in darkness. Here, without the clamor of daytime demands, your truest intentions take root. Your dreams are not idle fantasies, but living energies waiting to be acknowledged. They pulse with potential, like seeds holding entire forests within their fragile shells. When you learn to trust this unseen growth, miracles begin to sprout. Your inner landscape becomes fertile ground where hopes transform into reality, not through forceful pushing, but through patient allowing. The moonlight of your consciousness waters these seeds, gentle, persistent, unconditionally supportive. Arnold's journals became maps of manifestation. What began as quiet nighttime reflections gradually bloomed into tangible successes. His daytime world reflected the care he had invested during those silent hours, proving that what grows in darkness eventually emerges into light. You are no different. Your nights are not periods of emptiness, but powerful incubation chambers where your deepest aspirations take shape. Trust this process. Surrender to the mysterious nurturing happening beneath the surface of your awareness. Practice. As you rest, feel your dreams as blooming seeds absorbing moonlight calm, trusting that growth continues while you sleep. Close your eyes and take 3 slow breaths. Imagine each breath as liquid silver, nourishing the seeds of your intentions. Visualize these seeds in rich, dark soil, your subconscious mind. Feel the quiet, steady pulse of potential within you. Whisper internally, I trust my unseen growth. I am always becoming. Chapter 13. The Sleep of Remembering. As the night descended, Millie Kate sat by her window, gazing into the soft twilight, her thoughts drifting like autumn leaves on a gentle breeze. Years of searching for her true purpose had led her through winding paths of uncertainty, yet something profound stirred within her memory. The dreams that visited her night after night were not random wanderings, but gentle whispers of forgotten joy. They carried echoes of childhood laughter, of moments when creativity flowed effortlessly, when her spirit danced without constraint or doubt. Purpose, she was beginning to understand, was not a distant treasure to be hunted, but a melody already playing within her heart. Leonard Knox's story resonated deeply with her inner knowing. A musician who had spent years trying to compose the perfect symphony, he discovered that his truest music emerged when he stopped forcing and started remembering. The tunes that most moved him were not constructed, but recalled, melodies that had lived inside him since childhood, waiting to be recognized. Like Leonard, Millie Kate realized that her purpose was not something to be found, but something to be remembered. It was a gentle awakening to the passions that had always resided within her, waiting for her to listen. The universe speaks in subtle languages, through memories, through fleeting moments of pure joy, through the whispers of dreams that return again and again. These are not coincidences, but invitations to rediscover one's authentic self. As the evening settled around her, Millie Kate understood that her search had been unnecessary. Her purpose was not a distant shore to be reached, but the very ground she was already standing upon. It was woven into her memories, her spontaneous moments of delight, her natural inclinations. The art of discovering one's purpose, she realized, was less about striving and more about remembering. It was about creating space for those authentic parts of oneself to breathe, to speak, to dance freely once more. Millie Kate closed her eyes, allowing the wisdom of the evening to embrace her. Practice. As you prepare to drift into sleep, turn your attention to a memory that once made you laugh with pure, unbridled joy. Let that memory fill your consciousness, welcoming it to dance anew in tonight's dreamscape. Feel the lightness, the freedom of that moment, and allow it to guide you into a realm of remembrance and rediscovery. Chapter 14. The Doorway Between Worlds. In the gossamer moments between wakefulness and slumber, you inhabit a realm where thought transforms into pure potential. Here, at the delicate threshold of consciousness, your mind becomes a luminous workshop where dreams are not merely imagined but quietly crafted. Emily Ruth discovered this sacred space accidentally, those fleeting instants when your thoughts are soft yet potent, unencumbered by the heavy machinery of daytime logic. She learned that consciousness has a remarkable fluidity in this twilight zone, where intentions whisper more powerfully than they ever shout. The boundary between thinking and creating blurs here. Your mind, no longer constrained by rational barriers, becomes a translucent membrane through which inspiration flows effortlessly. Mason Price understood this mysterious alchemy, using these liminal moments to seed his deepest aspirations with gentle, unburdened attention. Imagine your thoughts during this time as watercolors spreading across an infinite canvas, not forcefully applied, but allowed to blend and flow with elegant spontaneity. Each subtle intention carries the potential to reshape your inner and outer landscapes. The universe listens most attentively when your mind speaks in hushed, trusting tones. In this twilight state, visualization becomes less about controlling outcomes and more about receiving guidance. Your subconscious mind, unshackled from daytime constraints, communicates through intuitive impressions, symbolic languages, and quiet revelations. Here, solutions emerge not through struggle, but through graceful allowance. The mind, half awake, is pure potential, a sanctuary where limitations dissolve and possibilities bloom. Your thoughts here are not mere mental constructs, but living energies capable of orchestrating remarkable transformations. Each whispered intention becomes a blueprint, each relaxed visualization a gentle instruction to the unseen architects of your reality. As drowsiness approaches, imagine a gentle doorway opening. Step through mentally with gratitude and allow unseen architects to finish what you began. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 15. The Melody of Trust. In the soft twilight between wakefulness and dreams, you stand at the threshold of transformation, where the rigid walls of calculation crumble and the fluid music of existence begins to play. Agnes Jo once lived her life like a metronome, each moment precisely measured, each step calculated with mathematical precision. Her world was a symphony of control, every note carefully scripted, every rhythm methodically planned. But life, you discover, is not a composition to be rigidly conducted, but a melody that emerges when you surrender to its natural flow. Just as a musician cannot force music but must listen, breathe, and allow the notes to emerge, so too must you learn to trust the rhythm of manifestation. Chester Vaughan understood this secret. Where others saw randomness, he perceived a deeper harmony. Before sleeping, he would hum his favorite tunes, not with technical perfection, but with pure, childlike joy. These melodies were not performances, but conversations with the universe, soft whispers that aligned his inner landscape with the cosmic rhythm. Your manifestations are not battles to be won, but conversations to be conducted. They respond not to force, but to the gentle confidence of trust. When you release the tight grip of control, you open yourself to a more intelligent orchestration, one where the universe itself becomes your collaborator. Imagine your desires not as destinations to be conquered, but as melodies waiting to be discovered. Each thought is a note, each emotion a chord, each belief a musical phrase. Your subconscious is the grand conductor, weaving these elements into a symphony that plays beyond your conscious perception. The magic happens in surrender, not in the exhausting effort of pushing, but in the relaxed participation of listening. Your job is not to determine every outcome, but to create the conditions for harmony, to tune your inner instrument so that it can resonate with the music of possibility. As you prepare to drift into sleep, let go of the need to micromanage your dreams. Trust that something far more intelligent than your conscious mind is at work, arranging the intricate choreography of your becoming. Practice. Let a smile hum quietly as you fade into slumber, knowing trust is the tempo of tomorrow's harmony. As sleep approaches, allow a small smile to rest without effort, barely noticeable, more a feeling than an expression. Not because every uncertainty has been answered, but because for now the need to solve everything can grow quiet. A gentle softness in the face sometimes reaches deeper places, reminding the body that it is safe enough to loosen its guard. Trust does not always arrive as certainty. Often it appears as willingness to continue, to rest, to believe that tomorrow can unfold without carrying tonight's full weight. In that sense, trust becomes a rhythm, steady, understated, moving beneath plans, beneath fears, beneath the constant urge to anticipate what comes next. As you fade toward slumber, imagine this rhythm becoming the tempo beneath tomorrow's harmony. The morning may still bring questions, changes, or ordinary routines, yet something within remains attuned to calm. Sleep takes over. Breath continues. And somewhere beyond conscious effort, life keeps composing itself. Chapter 16. The Pillow of Forgiveness. In the vast landscape of human experience, resentment is a heavy stone carried silently within, weighing down your spirit and clouding the pure waters of your inner peace. Dolores Ray knew this burden intimately, a collection of unresolved hurts and unspoken grievances that had become her constant companion, stealing the sweetness from her nights and the lightness from her dreams. Forgiveness is not a singular act, but a continuous process of liberation. It is an alchemical transformation where the lead of past pain transmutes into the gold of inner freedom. Each time you choose to release a burden, you are not forgetting what happened, but freeing yourself from its continuous grip. Horace Dean understood this wisdom deeply. Each night, he would sit in quiet contemplation, not to relive past injuries, but to consciously and silently forgive. He noticed something remarkable. With each act of release, his breath grew deeper, more expansive. His body became a living testament to the physiological truth that peace is not just an emotional state, but a physical reality. Your past does not define you. How you choose to carry it does. Resentment is like a tight knot in your chest, restricting the natural flow of your life's energy. When you learn to untie this knot, breath returns, vitality surges, and your entire being begins to vibrate at a different frequency. Forgiveness is not about condoning actions that hurt you. It is about reclaiming your inner sovereignty. It is recognizing that by holding on to pain, you are giving power to the very experiences you wish to transcend. Each moment of release is a declaration. I choose my peace over my pain. The night becomes a sacred space for this inner work. As darkness envelops you, you have a choice: to replay old stories that drain your spirit, or to create a ritual of release. Each exhale can become a gentle wave washing away the residue of past hurts, each inhale a renewal of your intrinsic wholeness. Your body knows this language of release. It understands that healing is not intellectual, but visceral. When you breathe with intention, when you consciously let go, your physical form responds. Muscles soften, breath deepens, and a profound sense of lightness emerges. Practice. Before dreams claim you, exhale old stories with each breath, feeling the bed cradle your lighter body as forgiveness rocks your heart toward ease. As the day loosens its hold, let each exhale carry an old story that no longer needs to live inside you. Unfinished regrets, versions of yourself built around fear, conversations replayed too often. Imagine breath becoming a gentle release, not erasing what happened, but softening its weight. The body knows how to unclench when given permission. Feel the bed beneath you not merely as support, but as something willing to hold what you no longer wish to carry alone. Muscles settle, the jaw loosens, the chest opens slightly. A lighter feeling may arrive not because everything is resolved, but because for this moment you stop asking yourself to keep carrying every burden into tomorrow. Let forgiveness move quietly through the heart. Not forced, not complete, perhaps only beginning. Forgiveness of others, of circumstances, of the self that was trying to survive with limited understanding. As ease replaces resistance, allow yourself to be rocked toward rest by the possibility that gentleness can coexist with healing, and that sleep, too, can be a small act of renewal. Chapter 17. The Language of Still Water. In the hushed realm between thought and silence, you stand at the threshold of a profound understanding. Ginny Pearl's journey mirrors the universal truth that wisdom whispers, never shouts. Her life had been a cacophony of interpretations, each moment dissected and analyzed with relentless mental chatter until she learned the art of listening. The universe communicates not through thunderous proclamations, but through the gentlest of murmurs. Like a lake's surface that reflects the sky with perfect clarity when undisturbed, your inner wisdom reveals itself most profoundly in moments of stillness. Ginny discovered that her constant attempts to decode life's mysteries through loud mental gymnastics were precisely what prevented her from hearing the true message. Clyde Moore embodied this principle of quiet intuition. Where others mapped intricate plans, he moved with a fluid grace of inner knowing. His decisions emerged not from calculated strategies, but from a deep, silent listening. Each choice seemed to arrive with an uncanny precision, as though guided by an invisible hand that understood the rhythm of existence far better than rational thought. The teaching crystallizes a timeless truth. True guidance resides in the spaces between thoughts. Analysis fragments, awareness unifies. Your mind is not a tool of constant deconstruction, but a receptive vessel capable of receiving divine whispers. When you learn to quiet the internal noise, you create a sacred space where intuition can speak. Imagine your consciousness as a pristine lake. The surface reflects everything, yet remains fundamentally unchanged. Your thoughts are like gentle ripples, acknowledged, but not mistaken for the lake's true nature. In this state of soft awareness, answers emerge not through force, but through patient receptivity. The art of listening transcends hearing. It is a complete surrender to the moment, a willingness to be guided rather than to control. Your intuition speaks in sensations, in subtle nudges, in the briefest of moments where something feels profoundly right. As night approaches and consciousness begins to soften, prepare for your reflective practice. Imagine a lake within your mind's eye, perfectly still, and consider every answered question revealed softly upon its shimmering surface before sleep. Chapter 18. The Breath That Builds Worlds. You stand at the threshold of understanding, where breath becomes the bridge between inner landscape and outer reality. Anxiety has long been your companion, a restless wind disturbing the waters of your consciousness. But now you are learning a different language, the language of stillness, of breath, of quiet transmission. Opal Jean's journey mirrors your own. She discovered that every inhalation and exhalation is not merely a biological function, but a profound act of creation. Anxiety had ruled her world, a tyrant of constant mental chatter and racing thoughts. But breath, gentle, intentional breath, offered liberation. The universe communicates through rhythm, and your breath is its primary instrument. When you breathe consciously, you align with a deeper intelligence. Worry fractures your energy. Breathing harmonizes it. Each breath becomes a signal, a transmission of your innermost beliefs and intentions. Wallace Kent understood this sacred principle. He transformed his life not through grand gestures, but through the subtle art of rhythmic breathing. Paired with gentle affirmations, his breath became a tuning fork, bringing his internal and external worlds into resonance. What seemed like magic was simply attunement, a precise alignment of inner frequency with universal flow. Your breath carries more power than you realize. It is not just air moving in and out, but a living current of potential, When worry contracts, breath expands. When fear tightens, breath softens. You are learning to become the conductor of your own energy, using breath as your most potent tool of transformation. Imagine your breath as a gentle wave, smoothing the rough edges of your thoughts. Each inhalation draws in possibility. Each exhalation releases limitation. You are not fighting against your current reality, but quietly reshaping it through the pure, uncluttered language of breath. The breath is your blueprint, the subtle architect of your experience. It carries your beliefs more eloquently than words ever could. Conscious breathing is a form of meditation, a practice of presence that transcends mental noise and touches the core of your being. As you prepare to rest, your breath becomes a bridge between waking consciousness and the fertile darkness of sleep. Here, in this liminal space, creation happens most effortlessly. Your breath becomes a lullaby, a gentle messenger sending currents of harmony through the unseen fabric of your world. Practice. Drift into rest, counting slow breaths of appreciation, sending currents of harmony through the unseen fabric of your world. Settle into stillness and begin counting slow breaths, letting each one carry a quiet note of appreciation. Not forced gratitude, but simple acknowledgement. Warmth held during the day, a moment survived, a person remembered, the steady presence of breath itself. Allow each count to soften the edges of thought until attention rests more on feeling than on numbers. With every inhale, imagine drawing in steadiness. With every exhale, imagine releasing tension into a wider space. Appreciation can move subtly, changing the atmosphere within before anything outside changes. The body loosens, the mind becomes less crowded, and a gentler rhythm begins to replace urgency. Harmony here is not perfection, it is the easing of friction. As rest approaches, picture these quiet breaths creating ripples beyond immediate awareness, touching the unseen fabric of your inner world, memories, hopes, worries, and the parts of yourself still becoming. Nothing needs to be solved tonight. The invitation is only to breathe, notice, and allow calm to travel farther than words can follow. Chapter 19. The Silent Symphony. In the soft twilight between waking and dreaming, you discover a profound truth. Your inner emotional landscape is a symphony waiting to be conducted. Lorraine Beth's journey reveals how every feeling resonates through the unseen channels of the universe, creating melodies that shape your reality. Just as a skilled musician understands that each note contributes to the whole composition, you too can learn to attune your emotional frequencies. Emotions are not random occurrences, but powerful vibrations that travel far beyond your immediate perception. They are the invisible conductors of your life's orchestra, playing out experiences before they manifest in the physical world. Gordon Reeves understood this principle intimately. Where others might have succumbed to anxiety or desperation, he chose a different approach. He learned to tune his emotional instrument with deliberate care, selecting contentment over chaos, harmony over discord. His internal music began to shift, and remarkably, the world around him started to resonate with his newfound frequency. Imagine your emotions as instruments in a grand orchestra. Anxiety plays like a discordant trumpet, while gratitude hums a smooth, rich cello tone. Fear might sound like a jarring percussion, but love streams like a gentle flowing violin. You are not merely a passive listener, but the conductor of this magnificent ensemble. The universe responds to the music you create internally. Each feeling you cultivate sends rippling waves through the cosmic soundscape, attracting experiences that match your emotional tone. When you choose peace, you broadcast peace. When you nurture joy, you become a beacon of joyful vibrations. This is not about suppressing challenging emotions, but about acknowledging them and consciously guiding them toward a more harmonious frequency. Like a compassionate conductor, you can gently redirect dissonant notes, transforming them into a more beautiful melody. Practice. Tonight, as you prepare for sleep, become the conductor of your inner symphony. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Sense the various emotional instruments within you. Some might be tense, others relaxed. Imagine yourself holding a conductor's baton, gently guiding each emotion toward a state of peaceful harmony. Begin by breathing slowly. With each exhale, feel the emotions blending, softening their edges. Let gratitude be your primary melody, weaving through any remaining tension. Sense the orchestra within, every feeling and instrument blending into symphony, and fall asleep as its peaceful conductor. Chapter 20. The Infinite Guest. In the gentle hush of evening, you stand at the threshold of understanding that has eluded you for years. Birdie May's journey whispers an ancient truth. Divine presence is not something to be summoned or sought, but a constant companion waiting to be recognized. For decades, Birdie had been like many, constantly pleading, bargaining, and searching for signs from a distant, mysterious universe. Her prayers were desperate calls into what seemed like a vast, indifferent silence. She would kneel, hands clasped, voice trembling with urgent requests, believing that spiritual connection required tremendous effort and dramatic revelations. Yet wisdom arrived not through thunderous declarations, but through a soft, transformative realization. The universe had always been present, silent yet profoundly alive, breathing alongside her every moment. It was not that divine energy was absent, but that she had been too noisy with her expectations to notice its constant embrace. Samuel Ford embodied this profound understanding. Where others might have frantically pursued opportunities, he discovered that true abundance flows when one rests in grateful appreciation. His practice was simple. Instead of demanding from life, he would pause and acknowledge the miracles already surrounding him. Gratitude became his language, and the universe responded with a symphony of unexpected grace. The teaching here transcends mere spiritual concept. It is a practical invitation to recognize that your inner landscape determines your outer experience. When you clear mental clutter, the incessant chatter of worry, doubt, and desperate wanting, you create space for something miraculous to emerge. Presence is not a technique to be mastered, but a natural state to be remembered. Like a gentle breath moving through an open window, divine intelligence flows continuously, waiting only for you to pause and acknowledge its constant companionship. Your spiritual journey is not about achieving something external, but about recognizing the extraordinary that already resides within you. Every breath is an invitation, every moment a sacred conversation with the infinite. As night approaches and consciousness begins to soften, you are invited into a sacred practice of recognition. Before eyes close, picture the infinite as silent company beside your bed, smiling through your heartbeat with constant companionship. Chapter 21. The Morning Inside Night. In the tapestry of existence, you are both the weaver and the thread, creating illumination from within. Diane Pearl's journey unveils a profound truth. Awakening is not a destination reached through external light, but an internal radiance that pulses beneath the surface of darkness. For years, Diane had believed enlightenment was reserved for moments of clarity, for sunlit mornings and breakthrough experiences. She thought wisdom arrived like a visitor, knocking politely at the door of consciousness. But her dreams whispered a different narrative, one of continuous luminescence that does not depend on circumstance or external validation. Vernon Dale understood this secret intimately. During the most challenging seasons of his life, when shadows seemed to stretch longer than hope, he discovered that light was not something to be found, but something to be cultivated. Like a gardener tending seeds in winter's depth, Vernon learned to nurture gratitude even when visible growth seemed impossible. The universe does not withhold illumination. It awaits your recognition. Each moment contains the potential for awakening, whether draped in midnight's cloak or bathed in midday's brilliance. Your inner landscape is a constant workshop of transformation, where perception shapes reality and awareness creates pathways unseen by ordinary perception. Enlightenment is not a distant peak to be conquered, but a continuous unfolding, a gentle remembering of your inherent brilliance. It moves through you like breath, like silence between thoughts, like the quiet pulse of possibility that never truly sleeps. Practice. As you surrender to sleep, envision a sun rising behind your closed eyes, proving that illumination never waits for morning. See its golden light emerging from within the darkness of your inner landscape, soft yet powerful. Let this inner sun radiate warmth through every cell, every memory, every unspoken dream. Breathe into this luminescence, feeling how light exists independent of external conditions, a truth carried within you always. Part 3. The Waking of Creation. Chapter 22. The Mirror of Breath. You have been breathing since the moment you entered this world, yet only now are you beginning to understand breath's profound wisdom. Like Irene Lee, who watched her child sleeping and saw the universe's perfect rhythm, you are learning that surrender is not an action, but a state of being. Your breath moves without your conscious control, rising and falling in a dance older than thought itself. Each inhalation is a gentle wave of trust, each exhalation a release of unnecessary tension. Curtis Boone discovered that when he aligned his aspirations with this natural cadence, life's circumstances began to flow with remarkable ease. The breath is not merely a biological function. It is a bridge between your conscious mind and the infinite intelligence that governs all creation. When you observe its steady pulse, you witness the same rhythm that moves stars, that causes seeds to sprout, that orchestrates the vast, intricate symphony of existence. Imagine your breath as a silent messenger carrying your intentions into the unseen realms, where potential transforms into reality. It does not struggle or strain. It simply knows how to move, how to connect, how to sustain life with effortless grace. Nature never pushes, it pulses. The tide does not force itself against the shore, but rises and falls in harmonious cycles. Your breath mirrors this natural intelligence. When you synchronize with its rhythm, you synchronize with the universe's own heartbeat. As night surrounds you, let go of the illusion that achievement requires struggle. Your breath knows the way. It has always known the way. Practice. Follow the tide of your breathing tonight as proof that you already live in coordination with the infinite. Notice the rhythm of your breathing, not as something you command every moment, but as something continuing with remarkable steadiness beneath attention. Each inhale arrives, each exhale departs, and together they form a quiet pattern older than urgency. In that rhythm, there is a reminder that much of life unfolds through participation rather than control. To see breath as coordination with something vast is to recognize how deeply connected existence already is. Body with time, rest with renewal, inner life with the world beyond it. The tide does not strain to move, it responds. Breathing can feel similar. An exchange, a returning, a subtle conversation between self and everything sustaining it. Tonight, there is no requirement to reach for meaning. Simply observing this ongoing motion may be enough. The chest rises, falls, and rises again, carrying evidence that continuity persists even through uncertainty. In that small, faithful rhythm, many people find a sense of belonging to something wider than their immediate thoughts. Chapter 23. The House Built of Thought. In the quiet landscape of your inner world, every thought is an architect, every belief a blueprint. You are not merely observing life, but continuously constructing it with the invisible materials of your consciousness. Nell Grace discovered this truth when she realized her external circumstances were nothing more than crystallized thought forms, waiting patiently to be reshaped by her inner vision. Poverty, she learned, was not a condition imposed from outside, but a structure maintained by persistent mental patterns. Her small dwelling had long reflected her internal landscape of limitation, cramped walls echoing scarcity, worn furnishings whispering of struggle. But when she began to understand that thought builds structure faster than brick, everything started to transform. Henry Lowe had walked this path before her. Each night he would close his eyes and imagine not just warmth, but abundance, a home radiating with golden light, spacious rooms filled with comfort, surfaces gleaming with possibility. His small apartment, once a symbol of constraint, began subtly shifting. Warmth seemed to seep through its walls, not from any external heater, but from the consistent temperature of his hopeful imagination. The universe responds to the frequency of your belief, not the volume of your complaint. Your thoughts are not idle fantasies, but creative commands that silently rearrange your reality. When you truly understand this, you become the conscious creator of your experience, not its passive recipient. Nell discovered that her perception was the lens through which opportunity could enter. As she started seeing herself not as trapped, but as inherently capable of transformation, subtle shifts began occurring. Unexpected opportunities emerged. Connections appeared. Resources she had never noticed before suddenly became visible. The core teaching whispers a radical truth. Your external world is a mirror, reflecting the intricate landscape of your inner expectations. Change the reflection by tending to the source, your thoughts, your beliefs, your persistent inner vision. Before you drift into sleep, a practice awaits. Walk mentally through a home crafted entirely of peaceful thoughts. Feel the smooth walls of tranquility, the solid foundation of self-trust. Imagine each room breathing with possibility, each corner radiating potential. Trust that as you create this inner sanctuary, your life will quietly rearrange its furniture to match. Chapter 24. The Listener Beyond Words. You stand at the threshold of understanding that true creation is not about forcing your will, but about creating space for wisdom to emerge. Francis Eve's journey illuminates a profound spiritual truth. The loudest voice is not always the most powerful. Your mind, like a cluttered room, becomes clearest when you sweep away the noise and listen. Alvin Price discovered this secret in the depths of stillness, where once he crafted elaborate affirmations and strategic declarations, he learned that the universe communicates most eloquently in the silent intervals between thoughts. Each pause became a portal, each moment of quiet a sanctuary where intuition whispers its ancient guidance. The art of listening transcends mere hearing. It is a radical act of surrender, a willingness to set aside the mind's constant chatter and allow a deeper intelligence to speak. Your thoughts, when they become too persistent, are like restless children demanding attention. But true wisdom arrives when you become the patient, loving listener. Imagine your consciousness as a vast, open sky. Thoughts are passing clouds, but your true self is the boundless space that contains them. When you learn to rest in this spaciousness, creation flows not from effort, but from allowing. Every belief that constrains you is simply a cloud passing through your infinite awareness. The transformation happens not through struggle, but through recognition. Recognition that you are not the thoughts that move through you, but the consciousness that observes them. Your power emerges not from controlling every moment, but from creating a welcoming space for what wants to emerge. As evening approaches and the boundary between wakefulness and dreams grows thin, you are invited into a sacred practice of receptivity. The universe is always speaking, always guiding, always creating. Your only task is to listen. Practice. As you drift, imagine divine whispers filling pauses between your breaths, and let each gap deliver an answer without language. Close your attention around the quiet spaces between breaths, where nothing is demanded and nothing needs explanation. Imagine those pauses not as emptiness, but as a presence, subtle, patient, carrying a kind of knowing untouched by words. In that stillness, answers do not arrive as sentences. They emerge as sensations, softened resistance, or a calm that settles before understanding does. Allow each inhale to gather what the day scattered, and each exhale to release the need to interpret everything immediately. The silence between them can become a place where intuition rises gently, where inner certainty appears without argument. Meaning may come as an image, a feeling of relief, or an unexpected ease around something that once felt heavy. Remain with the experience without searching for proof. Not every insight announces itself clearly, and not every truth enters through thought. Sometimes what guides you arrives quietly, through spaciousness, through rest, through the unspoken recognition that beneath constant noise, something within you has been listening all along. Chapter 25. The Pillow of Certainty. In the hushed landscape of your inner world, doubt is but a passing shadow, and faith stands as an eternal lighthouse. You have wandered through countless landscapes of uncertainty, searching for a sign that your deepest desires are not mere phantoms, but living, breathing potentials waiting to be awakened. Eva June once stood where you stand now, at the threshold of believing, her heart trembling with the fragile hope that life might actually respond to her quietest wishes. She had tried forcing outcomes, pushing against resistance and exhausting herself in the relentless pursuit of her dreams. But true manifestation, she discovered, was not a battle to be won, but a gentle surrender to be embraced. The universe whispers its secrets, not through loud proclamations, but through the soft language of certainty. When Ava learned to rest her head upon the invisible pillow of assurance, something remarkable occurred. Her worries began to dissolve, not through struggle, but through a profound understanding that what she sought was already present, merely waiting to be recognized. Lester Hart embodied this wisdom perfectly. Where others saw problems, he saw solutions already cradled in potential. His mind became a sanctuary of peaceful expectation. Each challenge that approached was met not with tension, but with a calm knowing that resolution was inherent in the very fabric of existence. This is the ceremony of assured knowing, a sacred ritual where you do not chase your dreams, but allow them to unfold. Sleep becomes more than a period of unconsciousness. It transforms into a delicate dance of creation. In those quiet hours between wakefulness and dreams, your subconscious weaves the intricate tapestry of your desires. Your breath becomes a gentle conductor, orchestrating unseen energies. Each inhalation draws in possibility. Each exhalation releases doubt. The boundary between what is and what could be grows transparent, revealing that manifestation is not a distant destination, but a continuous, flowing state of being. Trust emerges as your most powerful ally, not the rigid trust of control, but a fluid, adaptive confidence that knows everything moves in perfect rhythm. Your dreams are not fragile wishes, but robust seeds planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious, nourished by the quiet certainty of your inner landscape. Practice. As you surrender to the night, rest your head upon invisible assurance, whispering that everything desired already exists, softly awaiting your awakening. As the night gathers around you, the longing to chase, prove, or secure begins to quiet. Beneath the surface of wanting, there may already be a sense that what matters most is not absent, only distant from immediate sight. The invisible assurance is subtle, less a promise of outcomes, more a steady murmur that life is still unfolding beyond the reach of worry. To imagine everything desired as already existing is to shift from scarcity toward recognition. Some hopes may be forming in silence, some answers arriving slowly, some versions of yourself waiting for the moment you are ready to meet them. Awakening, then, is not always discovery of something new. Sometimes it is noticing what has been near all along. Rest becomes an act of trust in this vision. With your head laid down and the world briefly released, there is room for deeper currents to move. Memory, intuition, possibility. If morning changes anything, it may not be the world itself, but the way light returns to what was always there, waiting gently to be seen. Chapter 26. The Cup of Silence. In the quiet landscape of transformation, you discover that true manifestation dwells not in the realm of words, but in the sacred space between breaths. Addie May learned this wisdom through a journey of inner stillness, where gratitude transcended language and became a living, breathing energy. For years, she had diligently spoken her thanks, listing her blessings like inventory, believing that naming each gift would summon more. But the universe whispers its secrets in silence, not in catalogues of appreciation. Her revelation came not through elaborate declarations, but through a profound understanding that feeling carries more potency than speech. Raymond Wells embodied this principle effortlessly. Each morning, he would hold his coffee cup, not analyzing its warmth or calculating its cost, but simply experiencing its essence. His hands cradled the mug, fingers sensing the subtle heat, his entire being absorbing the moment's richness. In that quiet connection, abundance flowed, not through explanation, but through pure, wordless presence. The core teaching emerges. Experience is the truest language of manifestation. When you cease attempting to describe or define your desires, you create space for them to materialize. Your inner landscape becomes a fertile ground where intentions take root, not through mental gymnastics, but through calm, receptive awareness. Your journey is not about crafting perfect affirmations or constructing elaborate visualizations. It is about becoming a clear vessel, transparent, open, allowing the universe to move through you with elegant simplicity. Like a pristine lake reflecting the sky, your consciousness can mirror your deepest truths when you release the need to narrate every moment. Practice. Sip silence before sleep the way one sips calm tea, letting tranquility fill unseen vessels of tomorrow's joy. Chapter 27. The Drift of Faith. In the quiet landscape of your inner world, you have been navigating life like a captain gripping a wheel too tightly, believing that constant correction ensures safe passage. Polly Jean embodied this struggle, a woman whose hands were perpetually clenched around the mechanisms of control, believing that every moment required her strategic intervention. Her revelation came not through grand epiphany, but through subtle surrender. Like a leaf finally releasing its grip on a branch, she discovered that faith operates more like a river than a road map. The current of life, she learned, knows routes far more intricate than her mind could chart. Stanley Hunt understood this wisdom while fishing one misty dawn. His rod was in hand, but his consciousness drifted between wakefulness and dream. In that liminal space, he realized that his most remarkable catches happened not through calculated technique, but through patient allowing. When he stopped wrestling with the water and trusted its mysterious intelligence, larger fish seemed to find him effortlessly. This is the paradox of manifestation. Control constricts, while surrender expands. Your efforts to manipulate outcomes are like trying to force a flower to bloom, futile and counter to natural rhythms. The universe moves with a grace that transcends human planning, weaving opportunities through threads of intuition and trust. Your journey is not about steering, but about becoming sensitive to the subtle currents already moving through your life. Each time you release the need to control, you create space for unexpected grace. Miracles do not emerge from tight-fisted determination, but from open-handed reception. Imagine your desires not as destinations to be conquered, but as destinations seeking you. When you learn to drift, truly drift, with faith as your companion, you'll discover that life's most profound movements happen beneath the surface of conscious effort. Practice. Let go of steering tonight, drifting on faith as though water carries your dreamboat safely to unseen shores. There are nights when effort loosens its grip and certainty stops demanding answers. The urge to map every outcome fades, replaced by a quieter trust that not every destination must be earned through force. Surrender here is not defeat. It is allowing movement to continue even when your hands leave the wheel. The image of a dreamboat carried by water suggests a different kind of guidance, currents older than plans, instincts deeper than fear. Darkness does not always hide danger. Sometimes it hides possibility, unseen coves of healing, versions of tomorrow not reachable through relentless control. Faith becomes less about believing in guarantees and more about remaining open while the horizon stays invisible. To drift safely is not to abandon oneself, but to accept that rest can also be a form of wisdom. Unseen shores may hold change, peace, or simply a gentler understanding of where you belong. Tonight, the invitation is to trust motion without measuring it, and to believe that not all arrivals announce themselves before they appear. Chapter 28. The Returning Echo. In the gentle rhythm of life's unfolding, you are about to discover a profound truth. Every experience is but an echo of your inner landscape. Virginia May, a woman whose journey mirrors your own, spent years watching life's patterns repeat like familiar melodies until she understood the deeper symphony playing beneath surface events. Your thoughts are not mere whispers into empty space, but powerful vibrations that resonate through the universe's intricate web. Each mental frequency you emit creates ripples that return to you, transformed yet unchanged in their essential nature. Imagine your consciousness as a grand musical instrument constantly playing a tune that the world cannot help but dance to. Ralph Norris, a quiet man with wisdom etched into the lines of his face, learned this lesson through gentle observation. Where others saw challenges, he chose to smile, not with forced optimism, but with a deep understanding that resistance creates friction, while acceptance allows movement. His smile became a bridge, transforming difficult moments into passages of unexpected grace. The universe listens not to your words, but to the energy behind them. Your unexpressed feelings, your unconscious beliefs, your silent expectations, these are the true broadcasters of your experience. Each thought is a seed, each emotion its nurturing soil. What you cultivate internally will inevitably bloom externally. When you recognize that life is responding to your internal state rather than happening to you, a profound shift occurs. You move from being a victim of circumstances to becoming a conscious creator. Your challenges are not obstacles, but mirrors, reflecting back the very vibrations you've been broadcasting. This is not about controlling every thought, but about becoming aware. Awareness itself is transformation. Like a musician learning to tune an instrument, you can learn to attune your inner frequency to what you truly desire. The practice awaiting you is simple yet profound. As sleep approaches, begin to hum, not with effort, but with gentleness. Let each note carry love, pure, unconditional love for yourself, for your journey, for the mysterious unfolding of your life. Feel how each vibration moves through you, how it touches the edges of your being. Hum softly as you fall asleep, each note carrying love that the cosmos eagerly repeats back into your days. Chapter 29. The Sleeping Prophet. You stand at the threshold between conscious thought and the boundless realm of intuition. Dreams are not mere phantoms of the night, but living wisdom waiting to be heard. Elsie Ruth discovered this truth when she learned to listen beneath the surface of her waking mind. For years, Elsie had navigated life through careful planning and rational thinking. Her days were structured maps of expectation, each moment calculated and controlled. But something stirred within her, a gentle nudge from a deeper intelligence that whispered beyond the noise of her thoughts. One evening, as moonlight filtered through her bedroom window, Elsie began to understand that her subconscious carried a wisdom far more profound than her conscious mind could comprehend. The ego, with its constant chatter and fears, often drowns out the pure guidance that flows effortlessly when we are still. Otis Blair's story echoed this revelation. A man trapped in a corporate job that drained his spirit, Otis had long ignored the quiet voice within. But one night, a dream so vivid and clear appeared, showing him a path to work that would align with his true purpose. Where logic might have hesitated, his dream self moved with absolute certainty. The next morning, Otis took unprecedented action. He resigned from his position, trusting the guidance he had received during the night. What seemed like a risky leap became a miraculous transformation. Within weeks, he found himself working in a role that not only fulfilled him but exceeded his wildest expectations. This is the language of intuition, a communication that bypasses the mind's endless negotiations and fears. When you rest, your inner guide speaks most clearly. It is a GPS calibrated not by external landmarks, but by the true north of your soul's journey. The universe communicates in whispers, not shouts. It guides through feeling, through subtle impressions that arrive when the rational mind grows quiet. Your dreams are not random neural firings, but carefully crafted messages from your deepest self, a self intimately connected with the universal intelligence. As night enfolds you, softly request wisdom from the inner guide and promise to awaken, remembering its loving direction. Practice. Before sleep claims you, place one hand on your heart. Breathe slowly, allowing each exhale to release the day's tensions. Whisper inwardly, I am open to guidance. Show me the path of my highest unfolding. Imagine a warm, golden light surrounding you, representing your inner wisdom. Trust that when you wake, clarity will gently reveal itself. Chapter 30. The Endless Awakening. In the gentle realm between waking and dreaming, you discover that enlightenment is not a destination, but a continuous unfolding. Lucy Fay's journey reveals a profound truth. Awareness is not a fixed state to be achieved, but a living, breathing landscape that expands with each breath of wonder. Like a river that never stops moving, your consciousness flows endlessly, renewing itself in moments of quiet surrender. The traditional view of spiritual growth as a linear path dissolves, replaced by a more fluid understanding. Enlightenment becomes less about reaching a perfect state and more about embracing the constant movement of inner discovery. Joseph Clark understood this principle intimately. Each answered wish in his life did not conclude his journey, but instead opened doorways to deeper curiosity. Where others might see resolution, he saw invitation. Every fulfilled desire was merely a threshold to greater exploration. His wisdom taught that growth is not about accumulation, but about continuous expansion. The universe breathes through you in rhythms of perpetual becoming. Your inner landscape shifts like wind-touched grass, never static, always responsive. Each experience, whether seemingly positive or challenging, becomes a thread in the larger tapestry of your evolving consciousness. Gratitude emerges as the true engine of this expansive journey. It is not a passive state, but an active practice of recognition. By acknowledging the mystery of each moment, you create space for continuous renewal. Your awareness becomes a fertile ground where wonder takes root and blossoms endlessly. This understanding transforms how you perceive personal growth. No longer a destination to be conquered, enlightenment becomes a dance, fluid, responsive, ever-changing. You are not trying to arrive somewhere. You are participating in a living, breathing process of discovery. As night approaches and sleep beckons, allow yourself to rest in this profound knowing. Your dreams are not separate from your waking life, but a continuation of your ongoing awakening. Each breath, each moment of surrender, each whisper of curiosity becomes a gateway to deeper understanding. Practice. Fall asleep acknowledging that you are perpetually becoming more alive, each dream a continuation of awakening itself. Chapter 31. The Lullaby of Belonging. Your life is a continuous melody, weaving through moments of uncertainty and revelation. Marjorie Nell once stood at the edges of her own existence, watching others dance to rhythms she believed were forbidden to her. Her world felt like a concert where she held only a silent instrument, believing she was too awkward, too uncertain to play. But on that transformative evening, as twilight softened the boundaries between waking and dreaming, something shifted. In the gentle space between thought and surrender, she understood a profound truth. Belonging is not a performance to be earned, but a birthright to be remembered. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, never creates anything external to itself. You are not a visitor in this cosmic symphony, but an integral note, sometimes soft, sometimes bold, but always essential. Your presence is not something to be proven, but simply acknowledged. Jasper Dean's experience mirrored this revelation. Sitting around a spontaneous gathering, surrounded by neighbors whose laughter danced like firelight, he suddenly felt not just included, but fundamentally connected. It wasn't about fitting in perfectly, but about participating authentically. Harmony, you learn, is not about achieving a precise external standard. It's about allowing your unique vibration to resonate. Your imperfections are not barriers but beautiful variations in the grand composition of existence. Every hesitation, every moment of doubt, every uncertain step is simply part of your song. The invitation is to stop trying to belong and instead recognize that you already do. Like a river knowing its path to the ocean without conscious effort, you are naturally part of something larger. Your essence is already in alignment with the cosmic dance. Practice. Let your heart sway gently with your breath tonight, and feel yourself as a note within the vast cosmos's lullaby, certain you have always been home. Chapter 32. The Art of Soft Power. In the quiet realm between waking and dreaming, you discover that true power resides not in the thunderous clash of will, but in the gentle whisper of surrender. Bonnie Rose had spent years believing strength meant battling against life's currents, her muscles tight with resistance, her mind a fortress of endless struggle. Her sleepless nights became her greatest teacher. Each hour of wakefulness stripped away another layer of her misconception about power. She learned that calm is the most persuasive energy in creation, capable of rearranging reality without a single forceful gesture. Marvin Lee embodied this wisdom long before Bonnie understood it. During moments that would typically ignite frustration, a delayed shipment, a misunderstood communication, an unexpected setback, he practiced responding with remarkable tranquility. Where others might have erupted in anger, Marvin remained a pool of stillness. And something extraordinary happened. Outcomes began to bend around his serenity like metal drawn to a gentle magnet. This was not passive acceptance, but an active form of peaceful influence. Marvin discovered that true power isn't about controlling external circumstances, but about maintaining an internal landscape of profound calm. His serenity became a language that the universe understood and responded to with remarkable precision. Bonnie observed this phenomenon first in others, then gradually within herself. She noticed how her most significant transformations occurred not through forceful intervention, but through moments of complete release. When she stopped pushing against her challenges and instead breathed into them, solutions emerged with surprising elegance. The universe, she realized, does not respond to demand, it responds to harmony. Like water finding its natural course, life flows most easily when you remove the obstacles of tension and struggle. Influence is not force, but gravitational peace, a quiet magnetic pull that realigns everything in its path. Before rest, sense calm gathering inside your chest as a warm center of gravity, naturally drawing all you desire, needing no struggle, only softness. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. As you journey through the chapters of this sacred text, you have traversed the landscape of inner transformation. The paradox of sleep has unveiled a profound truth. Your most powerful moments of creation occur not through striving, but through gentle surrender. Each breath, each moment of stillness, has been a gateway to understanding that manifestation is an art of allowing. You have learned that sleep is not a passive state, but an active communion with the universe's infinite intelligence. Your subconscious mind is a canvas where dreams paint reality, where desires take shape without the interference of conscious doubt. The wisdom you've encountered reveals that attraction is not a force to be conquered, but an energy to be welcomed. The path of soft power emerges not from external manipulation, but from internal alignment. Your true strength resides in the calm center of your being, a gravitational force that naturally draws experiences matching your deepest intentions. You've discovered that listening is more potent than speaking, that trust is more transformative than control. As this journey concludes, you stand at the threshold of continuous awakening. The boundary between dreaming and living dissolves, revealing that every moment is an opportunity for miraculous unfolding. The universe has been your constant companion, whispering guidance through the gentle rhythms of your breath, the quiet moments between thoughts, the sacred space of your nightly rest. Remember, all is well, and all is becoming better.
If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.